My boyfriend called me a B word after I cooked him pasta, so I threw a full pot of sauce on the ground and made him clean up. We'd been dating for 8 months and I thought things were going well. He had midterms coming up, so I offered to stay at his apartment and help out with cooking and cleaning while he studied. Sweet girlfriend things, right? Monday, I made lemon herb chicken with roasted vegetables. Tuesday was street tacos with homemade pico de gallo. Wednesday, I decided to go all out with pasta because it was his favorite. I'm talking homemade marinara with fresh San Marzano tomatoes that cost me $18 at Whole Foods. I chopped fresh basil from the farmer's market. I slow roasted garlic for 45 minutes. I even made garlic bread from scratch with real butter and parmesan. The sauce had been simmering for over 2 hours. My back hurt from standing. The kitchen was a disaster. But I didn't care because I wanted to do something nice for him during a stressful time. I set the table with actual plates instead of paper ones and called him to dinner. He dragged himself away from his gaming setup where he'd been playing Call of Duty with his friends for the past 4 hours, didn't say thank you, didn't acknowledge that the apartment smelled amazing, just sat down and grabbed his fork. He took exactly one bite, chewed it slowly, then pushed the entire plate toward the center of the table like it was contaminated. I asked him what was wrong and he said this tastes like nothing. I was confused because I'd literally tasted it 10 minutes earlier and it was perfect, balanced, rich, exactly how marinara should taste. I asked what he meant by nothing and he said the sauce was bland and his mom's version was way better. I reminded him that his mom dumps 2 jars of Prego into a pot and calls it homemade. He waved his hand dismissively and said whatever B, just add more salt next time. Then he got up and walked back to his computer. The way he said it stopped me cold, not even heated or angry, just casual. Like calling me that word was the same as saying hey or thanks, like I was his maid who'd failed to season his food properly. I stood there still holding the pot of sauce with oven mitts on my hands, this pot that I'd been stirring for 2 hours, this meal that cost me $30 in ingredients and half my Wednesday, and something inside me just snapped. I walked over to where he was sitting with his headset back on, already laughing with his friends. I stood right behind his gaming chair. He didn't even notice me, so I tilted the entire pot of sauce upside down right onto his carpet. Red sauce everywhere, all over his precious white gaming chair that he'd just bought last month for $300, splattered across his monitor, dripping down the side of his desk onto his keyboard, pooling into the carpet fibers in this deep crimson stain that I knew would never fully come out. He ripped his headset off and jumped up screaming, "What the hell are you doing?" His friends could hear him yelling through the headset. I set the empty pot down calmly on his desk and told him since my cooking wasn't good enough for him, he could clean up this mess himself and figure out his own dinner from now on. He started yelling that I was being a psycho and that his security deposit was gone now because of me. I said no, I'm being a B apparently, so I figured I should act like one. Then I grabbed my purse and my overnight bag and walked out while he was still standing there in shock with red sauce all over his socks. I drove to my apartment and ordered $40 worth of sushi, the expensive kind with real crab. While I was eating it, he sent me 12 text messages. The first few were angry, saying I was insane. Then they shifted to panic when he realized the stain wasn't coming out. He said I owed him $500 for professional carpet cleaning and his gaming chair was ruined. I blocked his number and finished my spicy tuna roll in peace. The next morning his mom called me. I almost didn't answer, but I was curious. She asked what happened because her son called her crying about his carpet. I told her the whole story, every detail. The 2 hours of cooking, the $18 tomatoes, the bland comment, the B word said so casually like it was my name. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said good for you, and that her son clearly didn't learn respect growing up because she'd failed as a mother. She said she was going to have a serious talk with him about how he treats women. She also said she'd never claimed her Prego sauce was homemade, and she was sorry he lied about that. That was 3 weeks ago. He's still blocked. His friends apparently gave him hell after they heard what happened through his headset, and I haven't cooked for anyone since.